as I often say, that I'm doing this channeling, but I've been drawn and asked by Spirit to come on and talk just very briefly, just do some channeling around Christ consciousness. And obviously, it is Christmas time or holiday time, clearing the throat chakra. Like, I definitely am on holidays, but I've been drawn to do this quick channeling, so I'll see if I can just draw forward what Spirit would like for me to communicate around Christ consciousness. Yeah, so obviously, many people associate Christmas concept or the consciousness for my collective and any new members. This little family, this harmonic family, that if you don't know about the term Christ consciousness, like basically, I feel like a lot of people in, please can we clear divine guidance be most beneficial. There's a lot of people in the spiritual community that get Christ consciousness and Christianity confused. And there's a lot of complications with the way that the spiritual scripture, specifically linked to Christianity, the way that that has been used, the way that has been retold, the way that has been misrepresented, let us say. Also catching the last bits of like gold light. Excuse, I've been playing with my puppy dogs. Okay, so Christ consciousness is actually something, please make clear divine guidance. Christ consciousness is something that is connected to Christ oil or sacred secretion, which is the spinal fluid, right? It is the fluid that runs between the base of your spine from your root chakra all the way up into your crown chakra. And Christ consciousness is basically, I'm trying to communicate, I've been asked to communicate that Christ consciousness existed before Christ, the being, the person. Yeah? That Christness is something that is obtaining the highest level of emotional, spiritual intelligence, the highest level of emotional, spiritual consciousness, and is linked to the understanding and the belief, depending on who you are. Obviously, only take what resonates, leave what doesn't. That the human body, the human vessel, produces a chemical, a serum, if you like, a fluid that runs up and down your spinal cord that can help you obtain, reach higher levels of consciousness. So when we talk about Christ consciousness, we're actually talking about a conscious state that is at the level of caring for the collective, loving, healing, living in divine unity, walking in true peace. All those concepts that are linked to like the original ideas of Christianity. As a Christian, I'm definitely, I come from a cultural identity and background that actually has a very complicated relationship with Christianity. But I understand since my awakening that there is actually Christ consciousness which exists beyond and before Christ actually existed. So it's kind of like how we associate a lot of, I'll just get these last bits of rays, how we associate a lot of concepts and words specifically to English language, right? So English speaking languages, Western speaking languages. It's fine. It's fine. So it's a little bit like that. Our concept of Christ, of Christianity, again, speaking in English terms, that is linked to a concept of time that has existed since Christ himself. But Christ consciousness, the level of consciousness that Christ lived in, made it to, is the same as Buddha, is the same as Krishna. is the same as Moses. So it's actually about, then there is linked to this concept that is much more present in contemporary, recent spiritual community, just talking about us as being gods, being goddesses, the God within, yeah? Which is, I think, a liberation of the sovereignty and understanding of Christ consciousness, because it is about, no matter what spiritual community you're in, no matter what type of meditation you do, you're always sitting. The idea is to sit with your crown as close as you can, obviously depending on your ability, depending on your physical vessel that carries your soul and your spirit, but to have your crown chakra as high and close to the sky as possible. Yeah. And to be able to sit with your spine or lay with your spine as straight as possible, so that this sacred fluid, wow, my hair is so static, wow, had this beautiful day in the park today. Please give me clear divine guidance to be most beneficial for everyone involved. So it's like it brings come on. Okay, please give me clear divine guidance. Christ consciousness exists. Everybody can obtain Christ consciousness. Please give me clear divine guidance to be most beneficial for everyone involved. Christ consciousness is linked to your spinal fluid, is linked to the fluid that runs from your base chakra, your root chakra, through all of your physical vessels chakras, because as we know, there are chakras that exist beyond that, and to your crown chakra, where you give and receive communication with the ethers, with the higher up. So when we talk about a higher level of consciousness, we're also talking about moving higher up in the spinal cord. If you can consider, when we talk about living from or living in our base chakra, we are talking about somebody who is living from lower frequencies, but it's also about living from the beast, if you will. The beast, the animalistic nature, the things that can lead to greed, that can lead to lust, that can lead to indulgence, that can lead to war, destruction, all the negative things that, quote unquote, negative things that human beings are capable of, that the collective is capable of. They are things that, that passion, that when you kill somebody in passion, when you go to war, when these are things that exist and operate from the lower chakras. So as you move higher up in consciousness, as you ascend, you are actually moving up high in the spinal cord. You are actually moving up in it is like we talk about the Kundalini rising. That is a very connected concept, because it is also about traveling up from the base from the base of the chakra, or the base of your chakras. So I guess this is an invitation, and I have found, for me as a marginalized person who has a very culturally, racially, right, the vessel that I'm in, complex shared history and relationship with Christianity, I have found it very healing, beneficial to research further into what Christ consciousness is, and to understand that we just use even the name Christ consciousness, even using that term, we have named it Christ consciousness after this guy, Jesus Christ, right? This God or whatever. And that's just because that's the recent history of us understanding and remembering. We've named it after him, but he's not the only one that before him or since him has achieved Christ consciousness, the level of Christ consciousness. So I don't know, somebody needed to hear that. I hope that's been beneficial. Is there anything else they want me to say? Yeah, okay, so we've also had the gold coming through. We've had the color, the frequency, the shimmering effect of gold coming through in messages in the collective for months now. You'll notice this across many different readers' channels. You'll notice this across your own meditation. You'll notice this if you go back into your old journals. This is obviously channeled messages for the specifics as well as the collective. And just for you to understand that, spirituality spirituality and religion are very interwoven, but they are not the same thing. And that a common way that we discuss and talk about the difference between religion and spirituality is that spirituality exists without a doctrine. So this may also be beneficial for you if you're going through some kind of time, some kind of process in this hectic time of year where you are having to make decisions about your own spiritual sovereignty, your own place within your family, within your community, within your collective, within your own understanding of who you are, especially if you happen to be here at Codes of Harmony. If you happen to be tuning into this space right here, then if you're here for the right reasons, you are very much uh, connected to the divine. You're light. And we talk about light. So Christ consciousness is meant to be the light that is created from source and our individual consciousness meeting. And that creates that white light, that creates that Christ consciousness that we can tap into. And a lot of the language that we use in the quote unquote spiritual community, in the tarot community, in the new age conscious community, a lot of these terms that we are using, I'm just tapping, I'm feeling the energy right now. It's so heightened. Like there's this energetic like nervousness that comes into the collective this time of year, every year. And the more you ascend, the more you move up in your spinal cord of ascension, the more you move higher and higher to Christ consciousness, the more sensitive you will become to this collective energy. Okay, thank you. And also my third eye is buzzing. This is also connected to the channeling that I did this morning in the video, in the reading, talking about receiving lightning magic. So I also believe the lightning magic that I was speaking about in that reading, if you feel drawn to go to look at it, you're welcome to. That lightning magic is also, like I kept talking about, how we are the conduit between the earth and the sky, that we bring light language. I went into light language channeling towards the end of the reading. Thank you. Slowing down. Thank you. Thank you. Yeah, so I'm also realizing that channeling specifically about lightning magic is actually about Christ consciousness, and is actually about the sacred spinal fluid, the plasma that connects your higher consciousness with your primordial animalistic nature. And life is so much about finding that balance between that animalistic nature and that angelic frequency, that angelic nature, that Christ consciousness, that higher level of love and care and peace and unity that we can all obtain through meditation, through intentional shadow work, through hardcore, serious fucking spiritual work consistently, ongoing. That will take you higher into your own level of consciousness. And then eventually you will meet a place where your level of individual consciousness connects with source, connects with the divine, with spirit. And if you've gone through this and you're watching this, you know exactly what I'm talking about, because you've seen that light, you've seen and you've felt that light, and you can call on that light whenever you want to, whenever you need to. The energy is so high frequency. Please give me clear divine guidance. That's be most beneficial for everyone involved. Gold, gold, gold. They want me to say you are golden. You are golden, and you have the ability to tap into this Christ consciousness via being upright. And that is that's a metaphor, as well as a talking about that connection between the earth and the sky, that we are the connection between the earth and the sky. We are the channels, we are the mediums, we are the astral travelers that come back into this physical realm and share what we've experienced. We are the ones that can change the space around us, that can transform and transmute things in ways that many life forms cannot. Okay. So yeah, I just got that message through, I believe. This is your invitation to go and check out research into Christ consciousness. This will help you find more peace, harmony, and understanding of this time of year, and of the crucial role and impact that many ascended masters other than Christ have played in teaching and training us, all students, all children of the sun, of how to reconnect with that sun, reconnect with that gold frequency via different spiritual healing modes that allow that flow, that lightning bolt down your spine, up your spine, that connection between the divine and between the earth. That's Christ consciousness. Okay. Unexpected as the sun goes down. Okay, so much love from Codes of Harmony. Have a healing, sovereign, beautiful holiday, no matter who you are, where you are. Thank you for everything that you are. And yeah, Christ consciousness existed in many places, many cultures, many beings, many ascended masters long before Christ himself. So much love.